Coming up on this episode of Free Lunch.
I mean, I'll say it to you, say it to your face. This is what it is. Again, my mission is to inspire, empower, save souls, and help people find their highest selves.
What about your draws?
I make those. I'm actually
This guy making his own draws, yo. From the moment I wake up until the moment I struggle to begrudgingly go to sleep, my brain will not turn off. You don't play outfit.
Nah, I don't believe in matching. Like, even my socks don't match. They never do. I don't put them together when I do laundry. I like to just get up and go. I've always done everything myself, and that's a hindrance, especially when building a business that involves
so many components.
Yeah.
Being able to identify, I think where I have gotten to is a space where I can identify what my weaknesses are. It's Free Lunch Season 3 with a special thanks to our sponsors, Bullseye-LLC.com, Ready, Aim, Bullseye, where safety is our ammo, Gen1LLC.info, Generation 1 Logistics, taking pride in putting our carriers first and helping owner-operators get premium loads, stay organized, and increase profit, and ScarletOakCandleCo.com, the self-care experts. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Freestyle Gospel, a.k.a. The Real Free, with another episode of Free Lunch. This is by far one of my coolest fam in the building, man. Give it up, y'all, for none other than fashion guru, creator extraordinaire himself, T. Montgomery. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, cousin.
I always have my own little special way that I invite and introduce people, but I like to leave the opportunity for you to introduce yourself as well. So introduce yourself to the people. How would you introduce yourself? Who is T. Montgomery?
I've been working on that. That's one of the hardest questions to answer.
Facts. Absolutely. So what have you gotten so far?
I am an overall creative. My mission is to inspire and empower, and right now I am doing that by creating wearable art with Threads by T.
Threads by T, creating wearable art.
Wearable art.
Did you come up with that on your own? Wearable art, or is that something that like people in your space already kind of use, that terminology?
I came up with it on my own, and as I started using it and looking into it, I've come to discover other communities that use it as well. So
Facts.
While it's not here, I'm not the first or the only person using that term, because it is a real thing.
Okay. Yeah. It's definitely, you were the first person for me to hear it. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes.
So when I started using it, actually, not too long after I saw that Beyonce did that wearable art gala.
Oh, okay.
And then that's what made me realize, there's a world of this that I need to explore. So that's what I've been doing.
Facts. Now, have you been the wearable art, the things that you design, have you always been first to wear the things you created? Or that kind of evolved later?
So there are a few paths that led me here. So to answer your question directly, when I started teaching myself to sew, it was to make things for myself. I didn't go into it thinking as a business or anything. Yeah. One, it was another outlet for my creativity. And I never liked shopping anyway. But whenever I did, I couldn't find anything in my size or anything that inspired me. And so out of that frustration, I said, I'm just going to teach myself to make my own stuff. So I've always had.
But that's a whole even different way to even like view, excuse me, shopping for stuff for you. Like if I could get the shoes that I see my favorite celebrity wearing, like they're not going out to really, this doesn't inspire me. I think I'll go into like, that's mad dope. Like already as a shopper, not even as a creator, like you're shopping, I'm looking for at least my size, number one. And then if it's my size, does it inspire me?
Right.
What happens to when you are shopping? What's like, let's just say the top two things that you look for in a design that's not your own, you know? And I imagine you being this far in designing your clothing, you probably don't even do that
I haven't
at all.
shopped. I haven't shopped in a very long time.
But in the off once in a blue moon times you do, what are some things with other designers that you see that inspire you like immediately? Like, could you name one? Whether it's like a certain print, a certain material.
Comfort is always number one for me. Comfort and quality.
Number one.
Yeah.
It could be the illest looking pattern design, but
If it's
comfort
not
is the number
comfortable, what's
one.
the point? Yeah.
What's the point? What are we doing here?
Right.
I gotta wear this for at least 8 hours or so. Like,
I mean, that's really what personal style is deeper than how it looks. It's all about how it makes you feel. That's the most important thing. So comfort on your skin, absolutely number one. And then I've realized that when you get to a point where you need to challenge yourself, you need to challenge your confidence, you need to challenge even how you feel about yourself, or if you want to feel a certain way about yourself, you want to feel better, then you go and seek out something that you can put on that makes you feel good, that makes you feel that power, that makes you feel like your higher self.
this dude got poetry and clothing, y'all. You hear this dude?
It's all the same.
Is this stuff in a book that T has?
I'm working on it.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm working on it. Actually.
dropping bars right here. Okay, because when I'm shopping, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Listen, I'm just I hate to go shopping myself as well, but I'm a big sneaker fan. I love my baseball caps, my snapbacks. As far as anything else, I think I probably just look everything in between the hat and shoes is just comfort really for me.
Comfort and necessity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really like basic. Like if I could be a modern day Doug, that would be me.
Doug Funny?
Yeah, the cartoon dude.
That's
like
my guy.
Open the closet and I got really the same thing.
Same word.
In the in between, my hat might change up, my shoe might change up, but for me, like I said, I don't even know. I'm not really in that space when it comes to fashion, not really creative per se, other than, like I said, my shoe and what's on my head. The in-between for me is all comfort. That's what's touching my skin most.
Right.
Like, that's what's closest to my heart, my chest, my legs. Like, so, and I'm the kind of person, once I find something that is comfortable, I buy a lot of it.
Yeah, that's your bag.
So that I could just stay right there. Like,
I get it.
It doesn't, and I'm one of the people, like, just to go back to like the even Doug thought, right, is because I'm one of like those kind of creatives that from the moment I wake up until the moment I struggle to begrudgingly go to sleep, my brain will not turn off. Like it is on fire with ideas.
I get that.
And for me, the process of looking in your drawers or looking through hangers to find something to wear, that's taking away from my time to ponder and think and sift through these ideas. Like it's a waste of my time.
I get
to
that.
me.
Yeah, I
that's how
understand.
I'm looking at it. So I want to go in the closet and immediately just be like, snatch, snatch. It don't matter what the top is, what the bottom, because I already know this is my thing. This is comfortable.
Word.
I'm not concerned with that. Again, like I said, I'll switch up maybe the hat, shoe might change. Yeah, man. My wife doesn't necessarily like that all the time. She be having me wanting me to get all dappered up. But yeah, it's all about like I'm trying to save as much like scrap up as much time in the day, man. Like
so, in response to that, a couple of things. Contrary to belief, like I don't plan outfits. I get dressed and go.
You don't plan outfits?
Nah, I don't believe in matching. Like even my socks don't match. They never do. I don't put them together when I do laundry. I like to just get up and go. So I get up.
I swear I thought you
shower.
was planning all these looks.
Nah. So even before I started making clothes, when I did shop, I shop for pieces, not for looks, not for events. So if you have a bunch of dope pieces, you can interchange them. Throw a shirt on with some pants, your favorite shirt with your favorite pants, but every time you shop, you buy your new favorite thing. So now your whole wardrobe is just of your favorite stuff.
Exactly.
So you
so
don't
it
have
don't
to,
even matter.
Yeah, it don't even matter. You don't have to put any thought into what you're wearing. You just get dressed to go.
I love it.
Yeah.
But is that the reason you're that way? Is that for the same reason that I gave per se, or additional reason? Like
I don't have the mind.
Like you've never been the
energy.
kind of person like growing up, even like that cared about so much like matching and this gotta be this color.
Nah, if I ever did have a care of that, it may have been trying to be something I'm not.
Okay.
Not that I've spent my life trying to be something I'm not, but you know, growing up, you're discovering yourself.
You gotta go through
trends, all your friends. Yeah. You remember in high school, everybody wearing the jerseys. Yeah. Like all my friends were wearing jerseys. Yes. I was wearing suits in high school. And so, but going to parties and stuff, like all my friends wearing jerseys, maybe I should grab a jersey.
Maybe I should
grab feel me? So stuff like that. And I stopped doing that because it wasn't, I did wear jerseys and incorporate it into my style. Like I wore jerseys under my suit, stuff like that. But
that's fire.
Yeah, it's
Did you bring a briefcase to high school?
Yes, I did. I did a couple times.
Nice. What was the response like? What was the response in period? You showing up with a suit on. I know the teachers was bugged out.
Yeah, a little bit.
The teachers was like, what's going on?
So I mean, you know, growing up inner city New Haven is very certain. It's a very specific demographic.
Yeah.
Going to Hill House. And then that was like that was a time where people were wearing, you know, like 5Xs.
The
jeans
90s
way too big.
The huge jeans, exactly.
So that was the world we grew up in. And yes, I did that, but then I discovered that there was more to me than that. So
yeah,
I've always been, I never really fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
And I had to embrace that. So once I embraced that is when I really, you know, found myself.
So, I mean, but what is what was the agitator to transition at that young age to, I'm gonna wear a suit to school. Like I'm going to find my inner style or find like what was the spark, like exactly like what, like did you see something, was it a person in your life, somebody said something that made you like think deeper and like chew on that and meditate on that thought a little longer, and then it led to that actionable thing, looking for your own style? Like what caused you to detach from just what everybody else is trying to do?
I can't say anything specifically other than always just doing my own thing. Period.
Just even as a consumer, did you like even just always grow up like enjoying fashion? So even before the suit, even when you weren't.
I never liked fashion.
Never.
Nah, see.
But you're in. You're in this fashion industry.
So I've never been into fashion and trends and what's going on.
So let's say that.
So
maybe it's the trends. You've never been into trends.
I've never been trendy.
Okay.
I've never been trendy. But I
you
have always had
looking
sense
good.
of personal style.
Yes, you always enjoyed looking good. Is it safe to say that? Whatever your idea definition was.
Yes and no. So I always enjoyed feeling good. And people just happen to like what I have going on.
Uh-huh.
But really, it's the confidence that wears the clothes more than anything. And that's one of the things that I try to teach people, especially through Threads today.
Y'all hear this guy right here? What?
Yeah, man. So I started mentioning earlier, whenever I felt like I needed to challenge myself, I would take a risk with my style, and then that would correlate to other areas of my life by building my personal confidence.
Wow,
so
that's dope.
I had to wear things knowing that people, like I was wearing jeans and pants that actually fit me at a time where people weren't.
Yes.
So because they actually fit me, people were saying they were tight and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So I had to bring myself to a point where I didn't care what people thought or what they say. This is how I feel. This is me. And that's one of the things that, you know, made me see that I could really do anything that I want to do.
That's to have that kind of transition though in high school. I know for just personal experience, that's a hard thing to do. Like
Yeah.
to be able to one just that's why I said like what was the agitator? One to even get the idea in your head and keep hold of it of the idea. So I'm still talking pre-action at all. Like just to be a young kid and keep that idea in your mind for a moment long enough to evolve into an action
Yeah.
is impressive. Then you do it, and then now you get obviously the typical, other kids types of response like, "Yo, you mad different," and I would say back then and even present day, with kids in high school, like to be different isn't always embraced as like cool or dope.
Right.
But the irony of that is when we see a celebrity or somebody with money do something different, all of a sudden it becomes instantly a trend or instantly like looked at as, oh, that's dope.
A lot of times it's not even dope.
And it's definitely not.
Yeah.
But I think it's the person's personality you touched on that's coming through
That's what it is.
the new thing, and the consumer doesn't even realize subconsciously that's what they actually like. Which brings to my attention, like brings to my mind, you ever see how people might see something dope on someone else and then they go get it and put it for them, but it don't look as dope on them as they thought it.
The same,
And it's that personality. Like you're wearing you.
That's exactly it. It's the confidence that wears it, and it's having the right fit.
Exactly. Like I can't. It's not like that. This style that you have, it's not that it's not dope. I can't see my personality with it. That's what I see. But on you, this thing looks like a glove. Like I couldn't envision you wearing anything else. Like I've seen you with this style or this persona for so long. It is you.
Yeah.
Like if I was to even see it in a magazine, I think T. That's like that's crazy.
That's dope though. I appreciate that. And that's I've been finding my lane more and more when it comes to the business, for example. And like when people ask me to explain like what my look is or what
that's got to be the hardest question to do, or explain what your look is.
It is.
That has to be as equally difficult as the question I asked you.
It is.
Who are you?
Yeah, it is.
Because the look is you.
Right.
It's me.
Right.
So when you ask me explain my look, that's filled with depth and degrees as much as I in this flesh right here in front of you. Like
Right.
That's insane, yo.
Right. So I have been taking, from other people explaining how, they portray my look or the feel. But more important than anything is the feeling that I explain to people and how I want people to feel and the overall mission of saving souls, inspiring and empowering. That's really what it's about. But I like playing with colors. I like clean lines. I like...
You know what just hit me is like I'm envisioning, a lot of the, other, creators or fashion designers whose websites I can remember, like my, memory bank going on their website. And you see some kind of opening, whether it's like their mission statement as a brand or whatever. And because there was a time where I was, with like trying to like sell T-shirts or, my designs, I would frequent these type of sites a lot to see how they described an item of clothing, right? And what I'm remembering is like you really see often it's very just like at the surface. Like, if I was to go on some, regular person's fashion site and saw this hat you're wearing, maybe it would tell me what the percentage material that it is. It would say, maybe, certain like, folded or bent, curved brim and floral design. That'd be it. That's what I could expect. But I'm thinking about what I would see in the description if I went to a website with all of your clothing. And I'm thinking, after listening to you, it would probably give me those basics, and then be followed by something like, and this is how this piece will make you feel.
Right. That's exactly what I do.
Like
actually.
almost a blending of like what you would see from someone selling you a hat and someone selling you a candle. Right? Like, because what much of a description is in a candle? I dare you right now, anybody listening, go to yankeecandles.com and see the description of their candle, different various candle scents. It's all about a vibe. They're telling you this scent, because there's no way for you to sample a smell on a screen.
Right, you gotta imagine.
I could see a hat on the screen. I could see it's, you know what I mean? How are you going to convince me to buy something I don't even know what it smells like through the screen? Right. You have to describe to me, imprint upon my mind and my emotions what mood it might put me in. And so it's like you're bringing those two worlds together. Right.
So it's all about a story and forming a connection. So how I describe my stuff is, of course, the materials, but more so is how it makes you feel. I include where the fabric comes from. A lot of my fabrics, all my fabrics really I get from my travels or from some of my favorite local fabric stores. So yeah, I tell the story, the full story about it.
Now with the Threads by T, how long has that been like in motion? Like how long have you been for other, because you said you started for just yourself.
Yeah, I started for myself.
How long have you been making designs and wearable art for other people?
So I started teaching myself to sew about 5 years ago. And let me see. Actually, within that first year, I got my first client just from talking about it. Again, I've always been associated with my style, and that's one of the reasons people took me seriously when I started saying I'm going to start making clothes. So within that first year, I got my first client, and then within the second and third, so when I started getting invited to fashion shows and really started ramping up, the business side of it.
Now, has this occurred yet? I mean, so that's still fairly within the, business industry considered still a new business, a new company.
Yeah, I haven't even done an official launch for it yet.
So with that being said, have you yet, which I don't expect you to, but just out of curiosity, have you yet been like walking somewhere or being somewhere and seen someone wearing one of your pieces?
Yep, I have, and it's dope.
I was gonna say, describe that feeling.
What's more dope is other people recognizing people wearing my stuff, which has happened. Yeah.
Yes, facts. What's that like, seeing somebody walk by or?
It's a great feeling. It's a really great feeling because I don't even know how to really. Do
you feel like you need it?
Like I need to see people in it?
Like, do you need to keep going, like in the direction with your business, right? Even though you started from the beginning, this is about me creating things that make me feel good, because what's out there currently or the trends they're not for me. They don't fit my personality. So as you evolve from just making things for you and then for others, and then now with the onset of an LLC and the business, as a creator, as a designer, do you need to have that kind of stimulus of people, purchasing your designs, or you seeing people as like, motivation to keep going, as part of your why, right? Like, to see other people wear my things. Like, is that something that you need?
No and yes. So I say no because I would be doing this for myself anyway.
Okay.
And I'm only in business because people wanted my business. People wanted my stuff, which made me decide maybe I should do this as a business. I'm making more stuff for other people than myself now. At the same time, seeing that is physical evidence of growth and that what I'm doing is working and it makes sense. And what I'm doing right now is building my community at home. So starting with New Haven, then branching to the state. And again, seeing people in New Haven and then other places of the state. I mean, I've shipped all across the country now. So, but seeing it at home is, again, physical evidence and recognition of what's happening and that this is real and this is going on. And yes, it's motivation. And yes, I want to see more of it. And it feels great.
Do you have, I'm still like in the back of my head this whole time, literally since the beginning of the show, because you said it at the beginning, I've been really trying to think of like an item of clothing that you have to go buy. Like in my head, I'm like, there's no way I could just make all my stuff. Like, so is there something that you wear?
Shoes.
Yeah,
I'm not making shoes yet. So
you're not making
my
shoes.
And
That's
my
it?
Socks. I haven't gotten the socks yet.
What about your drawers?
I make those. I'm actually
this guy making his own drawers, yo.
I make them for myself. Actually, in the summer, I'm gonna.
So those are not available for other people to order?
If people wanted them custom, of course. But as packages, I'm rolling that out a little later.
That's fine. That might be something I'm into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even closer to my skin than a pair of jeans.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
Okay.
Comfortable, man. They're very comfortable.
You need that kind of comfort over there. Okay.
That's a fact.
All right. Now, what kind of undergarment are you like the loose boxer type customer, or you making briefs?
Both. Well, boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs.
And then the loose boxers.
Okay.
I'm also getting into lingerie, night and loungewear.
Listen up, ladies.
Yeah.
Listen up. All right.
Bathing suits.
Now, the time that you've been operating as an LLC longer than I have. I've been doing Freestyle Gospel has been at least a name within like spoken word or music for like the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But as an LLC and me being a full-time entrepreneur has only been like a few months, like since October. So what has been one of the biggest challenges for me as a creative entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in the creative space, however you want to term it, I think because of prior to running a full-time business, I more or less was able to be very, have more, I don't want to say more freedom, because I think going into this full time actually have more freedom that way. But I think I was able to be certain things as far as like my discipline as a creative was able to I was able to get by because, whether I was doing an event or events, plural, spaced out with time, like I didn't need to have to be on like some strict regimen of when I get up, at this time I need to do this or work on this, or for this day I need to put this amount of time into this. Like I was able to really just be all over the place more or less, even though the finished product was like dope. Whenever I would show up at an event or do something, it was really, really great. But what has been the most difficult thing for me now as like a full-time business side of it and creative, I'm really, really like struggling to like mitigate the space where I want to just be sporadic, more or less, work on whatever I feel like working on or what comes to me today. And then kind of meeting at a crossroad where it's like, okay, but as far as the administrative part of like running a business, this has got to be done by this deadline, or I got to submit, this or get this invoice out to this client and all those things to me. When it comes to the administrative side of running a business, in my head, even though it's the engine that brings you revenue or money, that administrative piece, to me, it's like, but that's not what I want to be creating. I don't want to be creating an invoice, a piece of paper right now.
Yeah, it takes away from that.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So is that a space like, bringing in like kind of that administrative fold into your creativity? Was that something that was difficult for you, or was it, some people I think are naturally just better at, things like time management and organization, right? I really haven't been the best growing up with organization and time management. So trying to force my creative mind into now that more disciplined space has been super, super hard.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I can relate to a sense. So I've always had the battle, or the internal battle between my business mind and my creative mind. So my parents, for example, are both creatives and entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a certain advantage by being raised in that world. So there are certain things that, I'm just good at because that's what I was in.
Yeah, yeah.
At the same time, I'm an overall creative just in general. So making clothes, painting, making music, cooking, building houses, I guess all the same bag to me.
Yeah.
And what my battle has been, again, has been trying to find a way to combine both my business and my creative mind. So like my undergrad is in marketing, my master's is entertainment business management. And thankfully I was able to take the lessons from those experiences and apply it to building this business. And it took a really long time to actually figure out what that is and how to do it. And I'm still doing it. But part of understanding what that is knowing what we're good at and what we're not, what we can invest energy into and what not, understanding our vision and our goals for the business, and understanding what other people can do. I've always done everything myself, and that's a hindrance, especially when building a business that involves
so many components.
Yeah. So I had to realize that I need to hire some people. So that's, as I'm scaling up now, that's what I'm doing now, is hiring a PR team, hiring someone to handle the operations of my business. Simple things like going to the post office for me and mailing out packages, or applying for grants, or remembering I have a meeting next month with, someone who wants to mentor. Or,
Yeah.
So just finding out, building a team is valuable and important, and the right team, and it's going to grow and evolve as your business grows and evolves. And forming a strong team is what's going to make the difference between it all. So like you, for example, you don't have the mind for that admin stuff. I don't either. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. So who can do it for you?
Yeah.
Maybe one of your kids. You can get them involved, start teaching them that way.
I have used them.
Get an intern. I'm actually going to...
My daughter's supposed to be in here right now taking our pictures while we having this podcast, but she has school.
Yeah, see. So there are ways to get what you need done.
Yeah.
It takes some introspection, and it takes some real planning to figure out, the best way to take advantage of these things. But we need to use our network. We need to use our skills, and we need to hire people who are better than us at certain things.
I think that's been I think that's common for like many people who start a business from, a passion that they have from the ground up, is the difficulty with letting go pieces of it and, assigning it for someone else to deal with, because it's your baby. Mm-hmm. Like you could have this like legitimate, worry or concern, of, is it going to be done to the degree of, attention that I want it to be done, or perfection. Like I'm a perfectionist, you know what I mean? So a lot of times when I do think of something that I like need help with or want help with, the irony of even like mentioning my daughter before, like I tend to use other people who I know are also perfectionists, because their attention to detail is going to be, as close as I could get to it being me myself, so I know, two of my daughters are like that. Like they obsess over details to a fault. Like, so that's not always a great thing. There's times where being a perfectionist is, could totally hang you up. But when it comes to, building a team around you, you definitely need people that you can trust. Otherwise, that thing being your baby, that's going to be very, very hard to do, to let that go, to delegate something else. And like you said, it's like something that you, I think, ultimately have to come to grips with if you want it to grow, whatever it is that you are doing.
Right.
Because you have a point where you end. Like there's only but so much you could do, or you end up sabotaging all of the time that you need to continue to be the creative person you want to be. Like you want to keep on sewing, designing new pieces. But if 3 hours of every day you're taking trips, running back and forth to the post office, sending off stuff, spending literally hours it takes sometimes drafting things like grant, writing and like you didn't get left with, what did I create today? Like, and then that I think that's what happens when you hear people who like, they are entrepreneurs, not necessarily in a creative space, but they, are entrepreneur of like a storefront or something. And you would think being an entrepreneur would make them happy. And you see those kind of entrepreneurs who are miserable every day. It's because whatever it was that sparked the initial passion that you had in doing that thing, you're no longer happy.
Yeah. So a couple things with that. One is remembering your why and understanding what your vision is and where you want it to go. So if you understand your vision, what kind of business you want, what your goals are, then you can translate that to the people who are working with you. If you don't understand it yourself,
you can't even articulate
that's when it
that.
gets lost. Yeah, so there's that. And then also, for people who aren't at the point yet where they can bring people on a team, time blocking. So today, for example, is for meetings, outreach, and networking. Tomorrow will be actually in the lab creating. The next day may actually be in the lab creating. The next day, fine-tuning paperwork or something. Like blocking off time and scheduling yourself as opposed to trying to do everything every day. That saves on the stress.
Yes.
It just saves overall to help keep sane and to have things in order and to prevent things
It's time management. It's time management for sure.
Yeah.
And I didn't even, I think that's probably a strategy that would definitely like help me, like just time blocking, like block, and not blocks necessarily like multiple types or different various blocks in one single day, but how you mentioned like entire days, like I guess maybe you could term it week blocking, you know what I mean? Or day blocking. Like, so this day is for only this.
Right.
On these days is the only days I do this. On these days are the only days I do that. And I think that would relieve a ton of just like stress or anxiety.
It would.
For me, because I'm at the point, like you said, I'm an individual that I'm not at the space where I could, start hiring people or, other than, like I said, family that I have that I know I can have come in here, and I don't have to, pay them something per se. Although my daughter, she has found a way to finagle, a few dollars out of me.
She should.
But that's cool. But yeah, so being able to identify, I think where I have gotten to is a space where I can identify what my weaknesses are.
Yeah.
So even if I haven't gotten to the solution yet, I think that's half the battle.
That is half the battle.
Like,
just that understanding.
Yeah, I'm being humble enough to like recognize like you do have some shortcomings, some things that need tending to. They need a solution. Rather than trying to be the be all end all, like, and like, nah, I got this, man. This is my business, man. I got this. I'm gonna build this, from the ground up, man. Like, by myself in these streets, no job.
Like, at what point is that hubris?
or humorous, or you playing yourself,
all of that.
Try to be big, or like and think that you could do it. I think that's where a lot of times we get become suckers to the idea of being self-made, like glorify that idea so much, like self-made, man, I do everything, like
self-made is building a team too.
Self-made will have you burnt out and whatever you was trying to build crumbled. Because like I'm thinking of even back to like any of like the dopest, growing up as a kid, being on on beaches like and seeing dope sandcastles the dopest sandcastles is made by several people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There's really some really dope efficacy that comes with building a team, identifying what's my weakness, but what's really a dope strength in my man's over here or my boy or, some of our dopest, record labels that we know in history today. Like
it's multiple people.
Our biggest, dopest hip hop groups, like multiple people who recognize talents and gifts. And that's the one thing I'm really trying to like break through, or like, how they say, be the change you wish to see in our community, not just in New Haven, but just as I think as Black people, I'm trying to be more inclusive, right? Like we talk about like, equity and inclusion. These are like buzzwords today, right? Like, well, include and more inclusive in the and more an acute idea or context where as Black people could we get better at including one another.
Absolutely.
Like we really like be on social media and bark about the rest of society or white people. We want us to be included over there. But how well do we include one another? Right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, we want that. That's a whole nother bat. but that's what I'm trying to, bring and change first.
Yeah.
With me.
Right.
Like having it on a macro level is real bomb. That's dope. But like right here with me, then from me within my house, then from my home, within my immediate community, like from the inside out.
Right.
Like that's really, really dope, man.
Right, and then realizing that you're not the only dope individual on the planet,
Right?
And
That
it's
part.
better to have a bunch of dope people.
You're not the only dope individual.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight at you.
It's not at all. Not at all. And building a team of dope people makes a really strong, productive, and enterprising team.
Yo, I think that's gonna end up being the title of this episode. You're not the only dope person.
It's a fact though.
That's a t-shirt. Hashtag.
It's a fact.
You're not the only dope person.
It's about more than us, truly.
Wow. I could dig it.
Yeah, man.
I see. That's why I had to get Cuz on the show, man. This matter of fact, how old are you?
35.
Oh, okay.
Birthday coming.
He sound like Big Cuz, but I'm actually Big Cuz. But yo, this is the wisdom, man, that this dude was raised in, grown up in, man. Like that's so dope the way you wear and present just at all to the world around you. Like, hey, how they said age ain't nothing but a number, man. But that applies in more context than one. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
like,
fact. I still feel 26 though, so
you know what I mean? What he feel like? Look. Again, he's back to the feelings. Like, what his clothes make him feel like? What his age make him feel like?
I mean, isn't that what life is about? How you feel?
How you feel?
Happiness, man. That's what it takes for your individual happiness.
And I think that's, like I said, back to what, in the beginning, we talked about what people are actually, as consumers, drawn to. Like, I know, and again, because, my cuz is already, confident in his dopeness and, doing his thing and with fashion, killing it. But, like, I've looked at my cousin. This is literally giving you more than I had planned to inside my head on this show. But I've literally looked at my cuz in person or on social media and photos and looked at his style and said, I can't wear that. And then the next thought, always, every time I see another photo of you somewhere down the line or see you, I can't help but cope with this itching other thought that goes, but I want to see.
All right.
But I want to find out. And I'm saying, I think what's drawing me there to that thought is because what you evoke emotionally because of the way and confidence you wear it, I can't ignore that it draws me in.
Word.
But visually, through my five senses, just on the surface, I'm like, but what I'm looking at, that's not typically what I wear, or to me, to my eye, it doesn't seem like that's for me. But I'm like, but the way he is exuding this aura off, I want to feel what I would imagine he's feeling when he steps into the room.
So that's a part of my underlying mission. You know, that's one of my goals, is exactly that, is challenging people.
He Jedi mind tricking us, y'all.
I mean, I'll say it to you, say it to your face. This is what it is. Again, my mission is to inspire, empower, save souls, and help people find their highest selves. And that is directly challenging your confidence the same way I challenge mine. And by going into this the bespoke way, or custom, is by helping people channel those emotions and challenging that confidence. And the people who like what I have on but don't think they can do it, is making them see that you can. It's about your confidence, and it's about the right fit.
Yeah.
Now, even for someone who doesn't, want to wear furs or bright colors or florals or anything like that, for the person who wears black every day, you can get your custom in all black.
Yeah.
It's about personal style and how you feel. So you get something made just for you and in your style. You don't have to have my style.
Yeah.
As far as colors go, but I can give you a shape that challenges you.
Yeah.
And then we could throw like some color on the inside, maybe as a little pop.
Yeah.
But it's just that, man. And that's another motivator of why I'm doing this, is people stopping me on the street being like, you're the only person that can do that. But I'm not. On one hand, yes, but on another hand, nah, you can do it too. And I can help you with that.
Just because you see what I'm wearing, that doesn't mean that this has to be what you wear. But you can bring your style. Like black, like I've been loving black in my older years. Like as I've gotten older, I love wearing all black. So to think of, the same style of hat that he's got, I could have that in all black.
Different materials.
In fact, I could even rock with the floral and it all be black floral.
Exactly. That's exactly
that
it right there.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so
exactly
I could dig that and see me in that and being comfortable. And now, because I only have now pieces that are my personal private pieces that I like, now I can't just run in the closet and just be like snatch and be out.
You see the vision.
Now I'm out.
Yeah.
So that's
you see the vision.
That's why we got to get plugged in.
Yeah. So my next business, or one of them, with this scaling up, is getting into manufacturing. So I want to set up a.
Well, how's that different? Because I would imagine that's what you are already doing when you're making it yourself. That's not manufacturing.
So I'm making my stuff. The manufacturer is going to be a separate business where people like you, artists, businesses, have these ideas, or they need uniforms, they need T-shirts, merchandise.
Okay, I got you.
And instead of like
you're
going
crafting
online,
other people's ideas.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of going online and ordering these shirts or whatever, they come to us and we make this stuff at home for them. So that's something else separate from this that I'm building towards.
Is there any article of clothing you desire to hand stitch and make from scratch yourself that you have not yet? Like you have a bucket list of like, I'm gonna make my own leather coat, or I'm gonna make my own this or that.
So I actually have a whole lot of leather that I've been saving for the right time. So yeah, I do want to make my leather coats.
I got some ideas for that too, man.
I got some dope leather too, man. Yeah, I'm getting into the lingerie, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I want to see. So
you haven't done any of that yet?
I've done on a small scale, but not like selling it.
So have you made even like a leather jacket before?
Leather, I made a faux leather jacket as the prototype.
Mm-hmm.
So yes and no. I haven't used the real leather yet, but
okay,
I've got the design for it.
Yeah.
How to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we wind down to the end of this show, Again, this is the Free Lunch Podcast, free food for your soul. So we got to leave the people with something that's like lunch, edifies the body, something that's edifying for the soul. Considering all that we either discussed already or something that has just come to your mind that we haven't discussed, what is something you would like the audience today to take away from this episode? What's something that could be edifying for the soul?
We can really do whatever it is that we want and that we desire. And it does take a process. First part of that process is making a decision that this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is my plan. And then with that decision comes the commitment. So now I made this decision and now I'm committing to it. And then you add consistency to that. So a decision, commitment, and then consistency, and then you will see the change and the progress in whatever it is that you want for yourself.
Yo, y'all heard it, man. I ain't even gonna follow up with nothing after that. Yo, let the people know where they can find you, man, on social media, website.
Definitely. So my personal Instagram is T Montgomery, TEA, like the drink. As far as the clothing and the art is Threads by T everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, the website is threadsbyt.com. So there you can see the portfolio, you can see some of the items I have listed for sale, you can see a little bit about the story, you can hear some music. So yeah, Threads by T and T Montgomery everywhere.
And this dude ain't even tell y'all about the music that he like. This dude is an artist, every way, shape of the word. Yeah, you can see we got it in the genes. Okay. So
May I'm doing the official launch for Threads by T.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be an exhibition, so like a gallery setting. And
that's going to be in New Haven?
Yeah, it's going to be in New Haven. So I'll send everyone the details. So it's going to be 3 collections. With the 3 collections, I'm releasing a 3-song EP that's going to serve as a soundtrack to the collections.
Mm-hmm.
And then a mini movie where all the characters are going to be wearing the clothes with the music in the background. So
mini movie.
Yeah, 3-part release coming. Yep.
Stop playing with them. Yo, I appreciate you for coming through, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's an honor, truly.
Real talk, man. You know what? You might be the second person in history to get the claps at the end.
I'll take that.
Yo. Because I don't even give claps at the end. You've been clapped up already. That's how I usually do it. But yo, It's freestyle gospel, yo. Free food for your soul. Peace.
Peace.